Chapter 9, Part B. Moving several jars on the shelf with herbal remedies for stomach issues, Jessfell found the small iron box he was searching for hidden amongst them. The item contained within was a singular magic item, a ring that could tell the type and subtype of magic near the wearer. This was possible by understanding the swirling patterns created when exposed to magic. When he opened the box and withdrew the ring, the swirling arrangement changed and resettled into a new configuration. "What is that?" Faceless asked, irritation subsiding. "This ring can tell you what power, if any, is being used near you." "Why did the design change when you drew it near?" "What you witnessed was the ring detecting the power within me. Each type and archetype have different signatures." "Why show me this?" Faceless asked. "I can tell if someone has power." "True, but this will tell you what type and subtype." Jessfell walked behind the counter, creating distance between them. "This will detect the magic within inanimate objects. Your power does not function in that regard." "The chair was the object," Faceless observed. "The spell was already cast on the seat when I sat down. This is how you stopped Rix from killing you." "Yes. When I pulled the chairs from the back, I spelled the one you were sitting on. I needed only think of the trigger, and it activated. I am a cautious man after leaving my homeland. The precaution was due to your reputation, the warning from my second sight. I was unaware of exactly how it would take place, but I knew the spell I would use to save my own skin." "I am unaccustomed to being bested," Faceless said, springing to his feet and sending a dagger at Jessfell. "How many more spells do you have prepped, Warlock?" Jessfell eyed the blade just inches from him. "I'll never learn the reason for your visit should we continue in this fashion," Jessfell told him. "Leave pride where it belongs and cease this foolishness. I've given you my word. You have given me your word. Yet here you are breaking your word to assuage your ego. Blade rests to the left of your head, Warlock." Faceless took the floating knife and replaced it in his sleeve. He backed away from chairs and the counter. There had to be a way to get to the profaner. Magic was limited. Jessfell would run out of power with the use of each spell. Profaners had to draw upon life force to empower and cast their spell. Draining life force, according to history books, caused the one being sapped to become fatigued. He felt nothing when Jessfell used his power. This meant the shop was infused with stored energy. But no theory was ever proven without testing. Picking up a jar on the table next to where he stood, Faceless launched the object at Jessfell. The Warlock's power had stopped the blade, but would it stop the jar? He knew the man was powerful. Rix was phenomenally powerful, but Jessfell had been stronger. Whether this was from control over the power or a spell, he would need to learn. "Really?" Jessfell plucked the jar out of the air and placed it on the counter. "Are we not past the mark on your pride? You are not the one in control, Faceless. Rix used you. Why proceed down this path?" "Again, Warlock, the jar was not aimed to strike you." Jessfell groaned. "You will learn nothing from this experiment." "My blade should have ended your life," Faceless replied, holding a jar, examining the contents. "You should be dead. Regardless of who was in control, the spell slowed my reactions, but not to the degree of keeping my blade from cutting deeply into your neck." Jessfell placed his palms on the counter. The grain of the wood worked to soothe him. Drawing life from things gave him a unique perspective into whatever he touched. It was almost like becoming a part of what lay under his fingertips. The tree once had energy. Now it was dead, but the signature of the wood remained. Faceless was searching for an answer that would change nothing, that had occurred to this point. The man was searching within himself whether to continue or assassinate him. Jessfeld was sure this is what was going through Faceless's mind. Fear had adverse effects on even the staunchest heart. You stopped the blade when it touched my neck, Master Faceless. I held you once you failed to kill me, Jessfeld lied. So you see, I had no part in besting you. Your hand ceased its motion when your subconscious overruled your instinct. All I did was take advantage of the momentary struggle to initiate the binding spell. Faceless made his way slowly around the table, admiring the contents of the jars and urns, thinking back on the moment when his knife lay against Jessfeld's neck. Is he right? Did I stop the blade of my own volition? Why? I've never hesitated before. Why now? I will leave you to your thoughts, but ask that you refrain from further attempts to understand just how much power I have stored. He could feel the knife in his hand, thrumming with the anticipation of cutting flesh. Having the satisfaction from killing the profaner, he paused in the next moment, just long enough for the quick-witted warlock to bind him with magic. No, I did not feel right either. Rix wanted the sorcerer dead. Well, the power in Jessfeld anyway. Did my resolve stop the magic flowing through me? Was this how the man escaped death? Did I really just stop my blade from drinking someone's life? A purple flower, shaped like the hood of a cowl, caught Faceless's attention as he paced around the table. Shroudberry. The flower is poisonous, causing numbness, tingling, and unconsciousness with a mild dose, and death in more massive doses. This beautiful, deadly flower had been used by assassins for centuries as an instrument of death, and here, in the middle of a profaner's shop, he found it ominous. The man was incredibly intelligent, logical, powerful, and cautious. In other words, a potential rival. An enemy if his designs changed in the future. Enemies were eliminated, not entertained, and yet he was doing just that presently. Stopping, Faceless took a moment to look at each jar near the shroudberry and realized each of the flower's roots and mushrooms were all used to immobilize, induce lethargy, enhance feelings, cause euphoria, create despair, bring about sleep, increase the heart rate, and any number of uses to kill as well. Unlike Kelton and Frandon shops, Jessfeld's items were still viable and potent. Jessfeld was also a naturalist. His knowledge extended into creating healing by natural means. As he looked around the shelves and tables, Faceless realized the warlock was more capable than he first believed. This man who had stopped him with magic was someone you did not want to make an enemy. Fear was not shepherding this line of thought. It was pure, unadulterated logic. Jessfeld was extremely dangerous. A useful ally, or an enemy of equivalent talent. The crowd grows by the minute, Faceless. Jessfeld pointed towards the storefront window. Someone will eventually muster the courage to enter the store and discover what brings Joran's deadliest assassin to my shop. This would not bode well for your reputation, would it? The amount of time spent inside? Faceless headed for the door and threw it wide. You would do well to disperse. I do not want to see another face near the shop until I have departed. Leave the area now. Jessfeld laughed at how quickly the people found other things to do, scampering away in all directions like rats being harassed by fire. By the time the assassin closed the door, there was not a soul to be seen, and he was glad for the interruption so he could gather his wits into a semblance of order. Faceless was now aware he held power that rivaled any wizard in the square. Jessfeld wondered what the man might do should he discover this, and he knew the assassin would figure it out. This was going to be an odd relationship, but it could prove extremely beneficial. Adding to your reputation? Jessfeld asked. Never hurts, Faceless admitted. Now that I have no customers, Jessfeld said, shall we discuss the reason for your visit? We would resolve the nature of our relationship first, Jessfell. I am unaccustomed to a potential enemy who could prove to be more powerful. I have no desire to contest for anything outside of magic. I have spoken of this already. I would not like to repeat myself again to assuage your fear. Fear? Brazen warlock. Inaccurate, however. Like you, I prefer to err on the side of caution. You are an enigma I have never experienced. Instinct. Years of living among seedy acres, denizens, is telling me to kill you. Rix is who wants me dead, assassin. Stop and think of what has occurred this day. You know too much for someone who does not want power, Faceless said. Anonymity is no longer an option. Where does that leave you? Jessfell tossed the ring to Faceless. Tell me why you have come. Faceless wanted to force Jessfell to reveal more of himself. The Profaner was keeping things from him, and he wasn't sure if he could trust the man when it came down to it. However, he would be an invaluable partner of the Enforcement Coalition. But half of what he read in the history books proved accurate. Jessfell could provide him with what he needed. Tell me something, Jessfell. How have you remained hidden for so long? Our first meeting has irrevocably revealed your secret. You only found out about me through my colleagues, Jessfell reminded him. Kelton and Frandon mentioned my name to you. Whatever has you back in Seedy Acres, it must be of great importance to you. Otherwise, why return to the place where you were abused after all the years that have passed? When I spoke of your colleagues, you mentioned the 2 men I visited, but no others. How did you know I visited only their shops? Faceless watched Jessfell closely. We'll get to the reason why I'm here once you've answered the question. Do I have your word, Master Faceless? Who are you? How do you know so much for a man who wishes to remain anonymous? Are you a spy for another country? Will you be the last name on the list of thieves and assassins I must kill to rid Joron of foreign spies? I give you my word, Faceless said. I have not been idle while in Seedy Acres. Stellan Road receives the worst kind of criminals and unsavory persons, looking for things ordinary citizens would never consider. I keep a record of every person who visits my shop, and those of my colleagues. Apparently, Faceless deadpan. How is what I'm interested in, Warlock. Did Rix damage something within your mind? Jessfell asked, eyebrow arched. I have told you numerous times of my second sight. You are still trying to rely on conventional methods in our conversation. Forget convention. Nist and Rix are a power beyond normal magic. Careful, Profaner. I am not a man to make an enemy. Threats are wasted on me, Master Faceless. However, I will not be forced by you, or anyone who believes himself in control, to reveal more than I wish. Do not become angered. Power is the reason why I say these things. You may be powerful, but even Nist has limits. A reminder you, of all people, are aware. Please let us move beyond argument and whose cock is largest, and settle into the uneasy alliance soon to follow. Presumptuous, Faceless replied. Meaning you are not here to ask for my assistance? Jessfell retorted. Why jump to the end when the journey is far more entertaining? Faceless queried, his tone light. Often it is the best way to proceed without using flowery words and manners, Jessfell said, and always brings a conclusion more quickly than not. Do not let our misunderstanding. You tried to kill me. No misunderstanding, Jessfell labored. Was it me or Rix? Like you have said, I was not myself. Jessfell shook his head. Is there a difference? Do not be petulant, Jessfell. By your own admission, I was not controlling my body at the time. Had I not intervened, you and Rix would have murdered me. Jezebel wanted Faceless to come to the why he was in the shop, lest we forget. How did you manage to stop Rix from remaining in control of my mind and body? Faceless returned to the counter, but made no move to sit or throw another object. What type of power was required to accomplish such a feat? Jezebel did not want to divulge how he stopped Rix. It meant telling the most feared assassin in the world. You entered his mind and altered his will. No good would come from admitting the truth of how he stopped him from being killed, only to anger the man where he might wish to murder him again anyway. Faceless would not receive the news without changing his mind about their relationship. The man might say nothing will change, but he had been inside his mind and knew everything would change. I would rather keep that bit of information to myself. Just know that Rix will never can take control of you again. You will now control it without fear of it taking over. Can we leave it at that? And should I insist? Faceless's voice was a silky whisper. Jezebel knew by the tone, Faceless was not going to let the matter drop. You'll not like what I have to say. The admission might jeopardize what you need from me. Are you willing to lose what you seek? Honesty is the only way we would continue, Jezebel. Jezebel sighed. You might want to sit down for this. I'll stand, Faceless replied. Very well. I had to enter your mind to stop Rix's control.